Welcome to Team Tiggio Court TV, where we upload videos every single day. So make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and share our videos.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are present in the State of Ohio v. Robert Speed on case number 25-CR-142. We're here today for purposes of sentencing. The defendant is in court represented by counsel John Fatika. When we were last here on September 24th, the defendant pled guilty to an amended count 2, identity fraud, a felony of the 5th degree. Count 11, possession of cocaine, a felony of the 5th degree. Count 12, possession of a fentanyl-related compound, a felony of the 5th degree. And an amended count 17, forgery, a felony of the 5th degree. The court referred the defendant for a pre-sentence report, victim impact statement, and there was subsequently a motion for a drug and alcohol evaluation. Those reports have been completed and the state's prepared to proceed with sentencing.
Good morning, Your Honor. I've had an opportunity to review the PSR and the drug and alcohol evaluation. We're ready to go forward.
Go ahead.
I'd like to start out by highlighting the fact that these are Mr. Speed's first felonies. He doesn't have much of a record. I believe he has a misdemeanor that happened along with these cases. 43 years old. He's had a month and a half at the Lake County Jail to detox. You can see from the report that he had a traumatic childhood, but he does have an employment history. He's got a job as an administrative assistant in an insurance company if he's released. We're asking the court to consider the recommendations in the drug and alcohol evaluation, allow Mr. Speed to participate in an IOP and try and get a handle on the drug problem. Thank you.
Okay, what do you have to say?
First of all, I apologize for my not being present for the last hearings that I had. It's not a reflection of my disrespect for the court. I was just careless, and I apologize. I do feel that my drug addiction was not necessarily out of control, but it was a problem, and it led to me making poor decisions.
What's the difference between problem and out of control?
Well, the problem was that I was using it. Out of control was when I was using it somewhat excessively and to the point where I was doing things that were illegal to support.
So it was out of control?
At a point. Yes, Your Honor, it was out of control. But I got a handle on it before, and I can get a handle on it
Well,
now.
if you got a handle on it before, why are you testing positive after you come here? If you had a handle on it, then you should have stopped using it.
I agree.
Before you got tested, right?
I agree.
So that tells me you didn't have a handle on it.
Well, I'm wrong. I was addicted. And I thought part of being addicted, I think sometimes I am delusional. And I was delusional. I thought that I had a handle on it, but clearly I did not. But I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to get a handle on it, and whatever I need to do to stay clean and get clean and move forward with my life.
What is it that you need to get clean and stay clean, in your view?
Some treatment along with a different form of employment. The employment that I had prior to being an administrative assistant was something that I was passionate about. What I'm doing, which was coaching for 21 years, coaching swimming. What I'm doing now I'm not necessarily passionate about, but it does at least pay, and it's with my child's mother, and sometimes our relationship can be strained, so it's hard to work sometimes with her, but I've gotten it done. I also think that some of the people that I was around didn't help.
What people?
One would be my ex-girlfriend.
Which one? What's her name? The one who was in the car and Welwick here?
Correct, Jordan Davis.
Okay.
Yes. That was a poor decision or a poor relationship all the way around, and it's since ended. My living situation, which was with her, and there were times where we were living in places that were unsavory, and that also contributed to my out-of-control drug usage.
Like, I thought you were living in Madison with her.
I've never set foot in Madison a day in my life.
Isn't that what the police report said, that they were on their way?
That was not me. That was I was in the car with her.
Where were you living with her?
Prior to, say, 2024, late October 2024 through maybe May of 2025.
Where?
There's a place called East Park. It's on Lakeshore in Cleveland, around 185th. But I've never lived in Madison before. I've never been to Madison before.
Okay. When did you live in Columbus?
I've never lived in Columbus. I went to treatment in Columbus for 2 weeks before, but I've never, outside of that, I've never resided in Columbus.
I can't find it, but somewhere in this PSR, there's some talk about you beating up some gang member in Columbus and getting your apartment window shut out and your dog taken.
Yeah.
What's that all
Yes,
about?
I was visiting, I was in Columbus and
Doing what?
visiting a friend.
When?
That's probably around October-ish, or October
October of when?
Of 2024, I'm sorry. October of 2024.
And who are you visiting?
A family member and a friend.
Who?
Monica, well, my cousin, her name is Monica Speed, and my girlfriend Jordan was driving, and she has a friend that was down there.
Okay.
Then we saw her friends, my cousin, her friend's boyfriend had an issue with us, and he took her car key. He we were in the car and he didn't want to let us leave, and he took her car keys, and he had some other people that were with him, and so upon trying to retrieve the car keys, we got in a fight. And so after the fight happened, before we could get home, I guess he had friends that were up in Cleveland. Our apartment window on Lakeshore, our apartment was shot up and our dog was kidnapped. And that's when, like, out of fear, that's when we started renting hotels. And the one in Lake County was the one that we were renting. And that's when we started, I guess, our drug usage, I guess, traveled out, definitely traveled out to Lake County. And not wanting to be, because I didn't know what connections that the people had, since they were able to kidnap our dog and shoot our apartment up that fast. That was
So if I were to check with somebody in the 5th District, there would be a report of some windows being shot out of this apartment
Yes.
on Lakeshore.
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
I didn't file a police report, but I'm sure that the police were called. But yes, there was definitely, if you were to ask the owners of the apartment, they would, or maintenance, they would be able to tell you that too. But I'm not sure how to contact them at this point.
Okay.
But
What's with all these fake IDs?
honestly, there was that, and then once I was trying to register the fake IDs to check into hotels, one, and then two.
Why didn't you use your own ID? You got, before all this shit happened, you got no criminal record. So what was the problem with your own ID?
I was worried that
Worried about what?
retaliation from those people, because they were.
See, I don't believe.
And then I'll tell you.
I don't believe this tall tale of Columbus.
No, that happened.
Okay, I don't believe, but anyway.
I understand that.
So you get what, like 7 or 8 fake IDs?
All right. So can I also be genuine? I was also working with a person or a group of people with bank fraud.
Who?
One of the people is from Columbus, or that's who I was in.
With bank fraud?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you get involved with working for people in Columbus with bank fraud?
Drugs. That's how.
Okay. Well, who were you working with in Columbus?
Do you want the name of the individual?
Well, it's somebody from a bank, right?
No.
Okay.
So the whole, I guess, system is the person gets someone's identity profile, then there's an ID that's made after their identity profile, and then from there you try and go into a bank and withdraw money as that person. And I did that.
Okay, so you got.
I did that one time.
You got IDs from all over the country.
Right. But I've only, yes.
So you knew nothing about this until you hooked up with somebody in Columbus.
Correct. Well, no, I knew about it. That's another reason why I went to Columbus.
How did you know about it?
People, like, what do you mean, how did I know about it? How
Well,
did I get?
because you're 43 years old, and until this happens, you have no criminal record.
Right.
So all of a sudden, you know about how this bank fraud stuff works.
Oh, I didn't know how it worked until I got into it, but I got into it through a friend of my girlfriend, and they asked me if I would be willing to do it, and I asked questions like, how does it work, and how much money is there involved, and how much trouble and how successful is it? And he said, just try it. I tried it. I didn't pursue it, and that was one of the reasons why the fight
You
happened.
pursued it because you had like 7 or 8 fake IDs in the car.
Well, yeah,
in your
those were all given to me at once. But what I'm saying is, I tried it
Given to you by who?
by the person in Columbus.
Okay. Why was this person giving you all this stuff?
I believe they believed that I was intelligent enough to pull it off.
Okay. And what was in it for them?
A percentage of whatever it was that I was able to take.
How much did you take?
To be honest, I don't remember. It was not maybe $1,000 if I.
All right. Well, one guy got $23,500 taken out of his accounts.
For me?
You tell me.
I never remember taking $23,500.
Okay.
I do remember.
How is it that you all of a sudden became such a bad judge of character?
I was the bad character.
And getting involved with this Jordan Davis?
Drugs, sir.
Okay. Well, when did the drugs start?
2021, and then they stopped for about a year or two.
Why did they start? Why did you start using drugs?
Stress, curiosity. I lost my job. I went through a divorce. I lost my house with my children. I went through, I guess, the first serious adult traumatic experiences. I had a number of traumatic experiences earlier in my life, but I guess I thought I got past them, and then that was the best way, not the best way, but the way that I coped at that time. And I think also I had, during the time of COVID, where I was just, I guess, out of work and bored, I picked up that to occupy time, and it was not.
How did you know where to go and get drugs when you had never used before?
Sir, I grew up in East Cleveland. I grew up in East Cleveland, which is a heavily infested drug area, and I have a very large family and a number of addicts, including parents who are addicts and relatives who are addicts and dealers.
Yet you managed to avoid all that until 4 years ago.
Right.
How did you manage to avoid it?
Being encompassed in something that I was passionate about, which was my career, my family, my children.
Okay, and you saw what drugs had done to your own family members over the years, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you thought, why not try this? This seems like a good idea.
No, sometimes I think in that situation, it wasn't that I thought it was a good idea. I think it was, I saw things falling apart, and I didn't have the wherewithal to do anything different. And I was still around, the environment, because even though I moved to the suburbs, I still have family members that were in the urban areas and so forth. So it's always been present. It's just something that I never partook in.
And then you say you stopped for a while.
Yes.
How did you manage to stop for a while?
To be honest, church.
What do you mean?
I started going to church regularly. I was going to prayer meetings. I was praying with relatives that were, well, my father's a deacon, the head of the deacon board. My sister's the head of the usher board. I was just around the right environment and around the right people. And
then you started up with the drugs again. Why?
That was right around when I lost my job. And I was transitioning, and the better word is falling.
Okay, so you know what life is like when you're not using drugs.
Correct.
You had the chance to observe a lot of people growing up that did use drugs and how it destroyed their lives, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then for whatever reason you decide to use, then you are able to stop by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you decide to use again.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you should be able to stop all by yourself, right?
I'm not going to underestimate my addiction or overestimate my abilities, but I do believe that if I had professional guidance that I can stop. I do know that if I have professional guidance that I can stop. Sometimes I just need coping mechanisms and also need to be busier, more productive.
So what are you going to do? What are you going to do for work?
Well, I'm going to continue doing being an administrative assistant.
She says you don't work there no more.
At this moment, I don't work here. But according to
her, you're not employed there.
Okay.
So you don't like doing that job anyway.
I don't. I'll be honest with you.
All right. I mean, there's a lot of people walking around out there that don't like doing what they're doing, but they have to live, so they have to make some money.
Yeah. Yes. So I also have my sister's husband. He has a concreting business, and prior to turning myself in, I was talking to him about doing that, and he said he would show me how. That's one. Two, I have a a good friend in Los Angeles who wants me to come and work for his film company, but I'm not. I'm being on probation, or if I wasn't on probation or incarcerated or in treatment, that's not going to happen. But I've never had a problem finding employment and like making money. I just made a poor decision with getting money illegally.
You seem like you're one of two things, okay?
Yeah.
You're either a smart guy or you fancy yourself a good bullshitter. One of those two. That's how you come across.
I understand, Your Honor. I don't fancy myself a good bullshitter, though.
Okay.
And I don't fancy myself a smart guy either, because I made some dumb decisions. Smart is what smart does.
You have a seat. Ms. Alessi?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is recommending community control sanctions, including drug and alcohol treatment in the Decision Points program. As of today, the defendant has 38 days of credit.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, the drug and alcohol evaluation. I've considered, I've also reviewed the victim impact statement of the guy that got $23,500 taken out of his bank account. And you have no idea where that money is.
No, sir. Not 23,000. I don't know which victim. It was so foggy. I don't remember which victim, like what name I went into the bank and took money from. But I do know that I did take money from a victim. I do remember that.
All right, I've also considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're going to serve 98 days in jail with credit for 38. In the last 30 days, you're going to be in the jail treatment program. And you're going to complete that and follow all the recommendations. I expect that if there's a problem in the jail treatment program, Ms. Randazzo, I'd be notified of that rather than somebody being kicked out without my knowledge. You're going to complete the Decision Points program through probation and follow those recommendations. You're to have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You're going to get a mental health evaluation. You're going to follow those recommendations. And I'm making that one of your orders based on your statements here today.
Yes, sir.
You're to utilize only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for prescription medication. You're to take your medication only as it's prescribed. You sign releases for probation. You have no contact with any of the victims in this case. No contact with the Davis or the other person that was in the car. Who was that other person?
Amanda Matthews, Your Honor.
Is there there's no restitution that we're aware of?
No, Your Honor.
And you're going to pay the cost and supervision fees. Anything else, Ms. Randazzo, as far as terms?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
You understand the terms?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any question about the terms?
No, Your Honor.
If you violate the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control. And if I find you violated, you're looking at 48 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
The remaining charges are dismissed. Anything else, Mr. Lesher?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Mr. Fatika?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
All rise.